All right, everybody, welcome to the webinar. As per usual, we're going to get straight into the action today. But my name's Thomas Atkinson from FX Evolution. As I'm sure you're aware, Tyrone with us from FX Evolution. He's come from the gym.
No, I've actually come from the beach. We had it was 25 degrees here today. It was a lockdown beach day, so I had the kids at the beach for a little while, and straight from there. So all good. Nice of you to notice, Thomas.
Well, I think he's personally just done this so he can say he's got his guns out today, guys. But anyway, let's move over to the screen. Obviously, this is our webinar for 1st of September 2021. I can't believe it's already there. Quick risk warning before we get in on the action. Risk warning, it's important to understand that any information contained in this webinar is purely for educational purposes, and the information presented must be considered only general in nature. The information provided does not take your specific needs or circumstances into consideration, and you must look at your own personal situation and requirements before making any financial decisions, Ty. And of course, then always seek independent financial advice. My God, it's a tongue twister today. All right, let's get out of there.
All right,
guys, you get the point. You get the point. We'll put us on the side here. There's a lot to go through this week. Obviously, we've got dollar index that we'll get started on here. Now, this is a little bit sneaky, the old DXY, but a lot of it has been around some of the key levels that Tyrone and I have talked about through the community over the years. And that's the 20 level, the 80 level, and the 00 level, Ty. In currency, we love all of those zones, don't we?
We do. They are very, very good. Dollar index is playing the game. Look, it went to the level that you wanted it to do. It went to the 50. You did promise that, and it did it for us. Very interesting zone for it now, isn't it? Like, it's had that rejection. I could see it getting trapped in between that 50 and that 20 for a little bit too. Like, it's kind of trying to do that now. Very interesting to see if this can actually handle it. It's some work to do either side, if you ask me. If it breaks that 50, boy, oh boy, I think we're in for a bit of a fall.
Yeah, are you the 50 exponential? Absolutely, yeah. So this level down here is certainly a zone that we'll be focusing in on over the next couple of days. We've got a focus here at 92.80 for Forex traders. This will be some of the big key zones that you'll need to watch. Now, as per usual, bring that one down, Ty. It's doing a bit of crackle, I think. As per usual, one of the things that we want to always focus on throughout today's webinars, we're going to be doing the currency to begin with, then we'll get into the commodities, then we'll get into the indices, and then we'll get into some specific stocks. Ask questions throughout this. This is made for the private community and the communities all together to come together to ask questions of us. And we hope that it's always an educational experience. You learn as much as possible. That's the type of thing that we're trying to get out of these sessions. So, Tyrone, 92.80 is little resistance, daily 20 exponential moving average here. It was getting up there. You've got that bullish hammer. So you've got that big rejection off the 50, but we don't quite get that follow through. We get a closure above 92.80. I feel it's inevitable. It goes towards that 93, creating some really big changeovers there for euro, pound, etc. But if this weakness continues to flow through, we're going to be putting pressure underneath that 50 in no time. And then we're going to see some serious continuation of trend. I mean, once it gets through this zone, you could argue maybe that 92.10. I'm thinking actually like a 91.80-ish.
I think 91.80 is probably the way to go. Yeah, I think if it breaks through that 50, 91.80 is probably the place it's going. And it could do it easily too. Yeah, I think it's got it in its sights. So it's certainly one to be wary of. But for now, I think it could do either. You know, I think I would still probably prefer the long. But if it breaks that 50, we're in. I'd trade either side of that, no problem at all.
Hey Ty, if you've got that Camtasia thing open, close it right now, because I reckon that's what's doing it.
Camtasia?
Yeah, if it's open, that's a bug on it. Yeah. All right. Anyway, we're just fixing a few things here, guys, but that should get it through. Euro, therefore, there's been some good trades on the euro, and I think this is probably, we always talk about the DXY. And there was certainly trades here. There was roll reversal. There was 50 exponential pickup, all those types of things. But there was also some good trades on the euro. And the euro's actually been the better one. So if we scroll down, we know they have the daily 20. We talked about the daily 20 and how it was important. Then we go down to the 4 hour. And there's been some significant kind of little positions that you could have taken. Obviously, you could have started placing, scale-ins around this 1.1780 area, started taking longs. There's a little bit of a pullback. Could have taken some longs in here as well. And now it's in a bit of a tough stage while you're waiting for it to get through the 50 exponential. But remember, this is the exact opposite of the DXY. We get above here. What are we starting to do? Then we start to move towards that 1.19. And it does look like for now, this trend is breaking. However, 50 exponential is the key, just like the DXY. So it's the market you'll be finding out today is really scalpy day trading, isn't it, Ty? Scalpy day trading. Oh, he's muted. Okay, he's muted, guys. I'll let him set it up. 1 sec. He's trying to flex. Yeah, he's doing the push-ups right now. Absolutely. All righty. We'll wait for him to get his flexing muscles back. He's definitely muted. I can see he's disconnected, unfortunately. But anyway, we'll keep going. So pound, another one that we're looking at here, the 1.38. Give me 1 sec. There we go. I'll fix him till he gets back. So we've got pound at the 1.38. This is another key resistance that you'll want to be watching, guys. I really like this zone if it breaks. If we get a closure above here, what will happen will be through the daily 200, the 50 exponential, and we'll be getting through a key area that you can already see has created sellers. So imagine if that goes bullish over the next week. I'm going to be setting alerts all over this zone because this is really paramount to understand. It's the 1.38 level. We've got exponential moving average. We've got a simple moving average. We know above or below the daily is a big deal. Plus we have rejection. So very, very big thing here coming into that market. Move over to the odd US dollar, another one that's been going relatively strong. It's had that big rally through. Now, I know a lot of people probably tried to short it here, and I will go in there, and I can understand why a few people did try to short this. I just want to show everybody what happened here. So you get that. Well, if we go back to the daily, we firstly want to line up where we believe it's going to go short. So somewhere in this range, somewhere between kind of this daily 20 makes sense, somewhere around here. This would be what you're targeting. Then we go into a 1 hour chart and we can see that it did bounce. It went straight up and through that area. They're not uncommon, but when something comes up with a massive amount of strength, like a stock or anything, if we're trying to take it in the direction of the trend and it's rallying really hard, we've got to wait for that lightning bolt action. Now, on some small time frames, let's say you're doing this, you're on a daily, you really want an hour turnaround lightning bolt. If you're on a 15-minute, that can be a little bit tougher. What I guess I noticed here just from experience of trading for a while is you test the low, 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 and then of course you break it above. At that point, you've got to cut your trade. The chance of it being successful after this point is probably, maybe 25%. It's really bad because what it's done is it's kept testing this zone. It's kept giving it a shot and then it's failed to do it. If this had gone below this point, all your trades should be live. So what I would do is if you don't want to babysit something like this and you notice this kind of support, you can put a pending stop order in here. Sell, of course, stop. Put a sell stop in underneath. And if it does get below that point, then you've got a high likelihood of finding some success there. So yeah, it really all comes down to understanding the price action, understanding how fast something is going into that zone. And when you see that explosive move, you wait for that daily to close and all of a sudden it closes above. You've got to be damn sure that it's turning around. Because remember, when this daily closed above, what did it do? Every single time, guys, 20 moving average rejected, 20 moving average rejected, 20 moving average, it closed above. That's bad. That's not what you want. So a top, absolutely high level tip is that if you see it close above a moving average, like the 20, and it's never done it on this whole rally down, you've got to stand up and you've got to pay attention. And you better be making sure you get lightning bolts, double tops, something good there. Because if you don't, you will get slaughtered. And that is unfortunate. In fact, it is more of a reversal sign at that point to actually start going long. So just remember, a little bit of a top tip, definitely worthwhile going back over that one. Speaking of top tips, we'll go over to silver here before we get into some other currencies. Long leg doji. and then some weakness coming through. Indecision at the 20. Another good point of view to actually make sure that we are checking the 20 moving average, that we're checking the price action. Ty, have we got you back? We don't have him back, do we? He seems to... Everything's going wrong on his end over there. Yeah, I can't hear you, man.
Man.
Oh, wait. No, we got you kind of. Keep going.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's so
Hello?
bad. Yeah, keep going.
All right. Hopefully you can hear me okay. You can hear me. Is that right? Can you guys hear me, or is it just Tom?
It's super crackle. Maybe they don't hear the
Yeah, I don't know
crackle, but...
I hope they don't hear the crackle, because even when I disconnected it. Anyway, hopefully you don't hear the crackle. Hopefully you can hear me.
Oh.
What are we up to? I was doing push-ups. Yeah, I was doing push-ups.
He needs to do push-ups for not getting his audio ready before the webinar. If you can hear him, it's crackly? Yeah, that's pretty painful crackliness. So if it keeps going, we might have to... I don't know. It's pretty
What
bad.
I'll do, I'll mute myself when I'm not talking, okay? That'll work, hopefully.
Sure. We'll give you little snippets today, Ty. We want tight snippets. That's what I think we need. So we were talking there about the importance of the odd, the speed at which something comes up, and more importantly, recognizing the daily close above the 20. That's a super top tip. I mean, if you think about this, once that thing closed above the 20, it's telling you, whoa, hold back from the shorts, guys. Whoa, lassie, wait for the 1 hour, wait for the turnaround. That is the key. So we saw the same thing on silver as we mentioned. The silver trade came into the 20. It's right at the resistance. A novice trader would just buy straight away, and that's valid. You could probably just start scaling like a small percentage, like maybe a third on this scenario if you wanted to, if you just can't bring yourself not to be in. But this is the importance of scaling, because once we start to see some future, what have we got here? Long leg doji. Now, if we had a closure above after that, we could probably scale in the other 2/3 and start taking it long, couldn't we, Ty?
I'll just unmute myself. Yes, that's correct. Hopefully you can hear me okay now. That's right. I do. Yes, it's an interesting one. We have to actually do platinum too, Thomas. We must remember to do platinum. I didn't get a chance to tell you before the webinar, but Dutch insists on it, so we must do it. Now, 100% agree on this one. At the zone, I mean, look, you got those two rejections exactly like you said. I think that it wants to... I don't know what it wants to do, actually. I'm thinking
we don't now. Now we know
it
doesn't have an idea.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is that a greedy person could have got in a little bit here.
A greedy person would have. I guarantee it. I bet you they did. Did. And it's a telltale sign. It's the last space you want to be entering. It's probably a really good lesson because... And this is the thing of being aware of what you're looking at. Like... Yeah, for all intents and purposes, you could have said, okay, it made higher close. It did. It's true. But right on the 20, do you know what I mean? Like if that 20 wasn't there, I'd say, okay, we're going good. But right on the 20, that's the last person to be entering. I know it's a higher high than the previous and it's a higher close technically, but you've got to be aware of that zone. That's a very, very difficult zone to break. Even if it's going to break it, you're going to more than likely the price action that we did see, and you might as well wait for the confirmation of momentum. Definitely.
Yeah, confirmation of momentum is key here. For silver traders, unfortunately, 24.20 is really the go signal. But I'm talking, I think it's a serious go signal. If it gets up and above through close there, that's a really good technical. It's going to be above the daily 20. It's got due consideration. That would be big there. From the sell side, I guess, look, sell siders will be trying to get into it right now. But I'm not sure if I'm convinced that the sell side is the best when you've got really good structure at the 23. You've been sitting here for a while. It's just not good enough for me. Even though the trend is down, I would be going into all sorts of smaller time frames and really, really putting the crunch on it. So I'd be looking for, I don't know, maybe like this and then this.
Can I just ask something, guys? When I was off the screen, when Thomas banned me and took me off, was the microphone still scratchy? Because I've literally unplugged everything on mine, and I can still hear the cracks. So I'm just wondering, really could you hear the crackles when I disappeared? Could you still hear the crackles?
No.
If someone could just mention.
Well, if they could hear it, yeah.
Yeah, because I've done everything. I've unplugged the whole thing, and I can still hear the crackles. So
Yeah, but you're hearing him on my side or hearing him on your side now?
I'm hearing him in my
It's going
microphone,
through.
my earphones.
Yeah, you've got some flow through. I need to get out there and fix your audio setup at some point. Yeah, it's like I can even hear myself through your one at the moment, unfortunately. Anyway,
Really?
that's right.
Okay.
We'll keep going. So let's go through some of these other pairs. So we'll go here to the pound yen. We'll have a look there. This is starting to look a little bit more juicy as well. All these yen pairs starting to kind of fire in the right direction. You can see here rejection candle, rejection candle, rejection candle, daily 20. It's not that significant because it hasn't really touched daily 20 a few times, but this is a significant-ish break. So we'll go through a few. Someone asked about this. I guess for me, if you get a closure here, yes, that should signal more bullishness back into these 153s. Whenever we take a look at something like these yens, usually we go over to the best one to go to, which is US dollar yen. And that's also got some significant breakouts that could be occurring here. Rejection, 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 rejection. I mean, it's at the club. It's not getting anything as a tie. It's just again constant rejection. Now we've had a bullish hammer and we're getting that follow through. Next stop is 110.623 and a breakout past this. We've talked about it a lot of times. This is what we're looking for the longer term for the US dollar yen. We would love to see it above the 110.60. Absolutely.
That's really getting me excited. Until it does that, I'm not excited about it, but it's on its way now. I think it's starting to break out. It's starting to look good.
It is on its way. Odd yen position resistance to watch will be 81.60 if you're in this trade. Looking towards there, you've hit kind of the first big take profit after the 20, which is the 50. And then around this 81.60 area is a good little zone to be targeting there. Euro pound at the resistance. I'm not sure how to feel about this at this stage. I think you have to go down to like a 4 hour and 8 hour. I do like the price action coming in here, Ty. Like you've got big rejection. It's putting pressure on this resistance at 86, basically. So a round number. That's a series of higher lows coming through here. Big higher lows. You really kind of could draw it like this, I feel. And what this does is it gives us a decent kind of idea of strength. Your thoughts on the euro pound?
Yep. It's trying to break through. Most definitely trying to. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yeah, we just got to turn you down.
Okay, yeah, because I've actually moved it to a different mic. I've moved to the camera mic now. Yeah, I mean it's done what I like. Breaks of this level to do, and it's coming off a 20 moving average, which is good. So it's got momentum getting up there. It still has to prove itself, and I'd like to see a break on a daily, but what I like about this trade is if it does break past this level, I think the next level is fairly straightforward, and it has got nothing in front of it. Like it's got blue sky everywhere.
No, I like this euro pound. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like it. If it does that, it's going to be a very, very sexy trade.
Yep. 86.20, 86.60, two really solid levels here. Good resistance. I mean, look, there are some problems on the left, but that's a while ago. So I think a lot of the traders out there, a lot of the algorithms will be targeting this zone. I like those price actions coming in on it on the 4 hour, the 8 hour also showing that big strength coming in. So when you get strength like this, it's kind of like the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq had been, rejection, and then all of a sudden just shot off and did 3% in a few days. This is what it's showing you, momentum. These candles are effectively momentum. So some other strength coming through there. We'll move over now to a few others. I think that brings us about 20 minutes in. Did we have any other questions other than oil and stuff? Let's have a look.
Oil, yeah, oil.
So we've got here US oil. Yeah, we'll do that for you.
Frank is asking for oil. Welcome back, Frank.
And we've got platinum as well, I believe.
Welcome back. And platinum, definitely. No, Dane, it's not green sky. Who came up with that green sky? Is that
green
Thomas?
sky. Green sky, yes.
Did
Okay. I got a couple of things. Is the $100 note blue? No. What color is it, Ty?
No.
It's the biggest note. Green. It's green.
It is.
The color of money is green. It's green sky.
Yeah. But the 2,500 euro is blue. 2,500 euro is blue.
Who has 2,500 euros? You don't even see those. I gave someone in Europe once a 500 euro note. They almost spat on me. Because they're like, you know how you go to the cash converters and they just give you 500s, and they're like, what the hell is this? You're paying for like a coffee. Here's a 500 euro note. Imagine giving them a $2,500 note. All right, US oil $70 or just under 69.50. You guys can see the resistance. Look, 2050 cross here on the 8 hour. 8 hours a pretty big time frame, but I'm just looking for it above 69.50. If you've got shorts, yeah, you can short here. Remember though, OPEC. I'm not a big fan of trading into OPEC. I don't like OPEC very much over the years. So here's the OPEC meeting all day Wednesday. It no doubt will move. Oil will move off OPEC, but I'm looking for it above 69.50. So's Tyrone. We've discussed this one a little bit. So yeah, resistance here. I mean, this is the zone, isn't it, Ty? Bam, bam, bam. Let's go long.
Oh yeah.
72 next target.
This has been a good trade though, hasn't it? Like it's bounced off that level. So nice. Like damn.
Yeah. So
yeah.
This was another classic case of a few things. So firstly, we hit that big support. We had the second target, didn't hit that one. Then it bounces up huge. And we did warn and caution heavily against trying to short that area for a good, valid amount of reasons. It closed above, rallies even harder, goes all the way to the 69.50, and then starts to find weakness. Oil actually has been doing pretty good technical stuff. I'd say oil has been better trading than I've seen it in a long time over the last 18 months. Like very, very solid technical trading here. So we had a question coming in from Platinum. So Platinum currency.com. And the question is, I guess, around this 20. So we have rejection, kind of two indecision candles. We have to zoom in here a little bit. Let's have a look. All right. It's good base. Series of higher lows is good. Weekly.
I think Dutch was actually trading the descending triangle there, but it looks like it's broken out now. And I think he was yeah, like
so was he trying to trade backwards like that?
I think he was trading that zone, but no, he thinks it's broken. It's broken out fairly early too. Like
look, I mean, a big test here is when you see, well, this is only the beginning of obviously this thing. So if you're seeing the beginning here, the way I look at it, as soon as you see that long leg doji, if you had gotten a closure underneath that, yes, I believe you're going back down to here. I think Pi would agree. But because we're now putting a lot of pressure on this upside, well, firstly, it's no longer descending. No, at least I can't see it. I mean, you'd be drawing it like that. I mean, it could be. It's just...
No, it's no longer. No, I think, it's broken out now. And I think if it closes above that 20, it's got a little bit of trouble in front of it right at that 1,025 with the previous touch of support. But by God, if it breaks past there, 1,080 and onwards.
Yeah, I've been looking at platinum around this 1,025 level. That's been the key zone that I'm targeting. I actually prefer it as the base with a series of higher lows. I think if you're looking in the future at descending, you've got it correct, because you've got basically one touch, two touch, and then I would have preferred it touches it again, then comes up and tests, then long leg doji, then you find the decision, then you smash it down. Remember, TA is statistic hunting. What you're trying to do is you're trying to say, how many psychological reasons do I have to be in this trade? How often when this thing happens do we find a successful trade? There was a trade yesterday taken in the live stream. Let me just have a look here. There it is. Now, this is a really, really nice setup. And it's got some great parameters around it. So you basically have here a double bottom forming off, a big pullback. You've got that little kind of marginal close area. You've then got that little bit of indecision. And if you go down to the other time frames, like a 4 hour, you can see here. And then during the session yesterday, take a look at this, guys. There it is. Amazing pickup. The same thing we teach in any technical, whether it be a commodity, whether it be a stock, whether it be a crypto, whether I don't care what it is. That chart has everything we talk about. The thought process just before breaking out, beautiful consolidation, the breakout occurs, the consolidation, the little bullish hammer coming off the roll reversal, bang, you get that big follow through. Great trading. I don't remember who super chatted this, but I was like, 2 thumbs up, Ty. It's too good, man.
Can we have a look at CAD? We've got a lot of people asking about CAD. Actually, can we have a look at CAD quickly?
Sure. All right, 1 second. There we go. So we want CAD, US dollar CAD. Okay.
Yeah.
You can take it away on this one. What time frame would you like?
I think the time frame that we're at's pretty good. Yeah, look, I think the question was, do we look at oil or do we look at the dollar index when we look at the US dollar CAD for a correlation? I like to look at CAD in isolation first, US dollar CAD in isolation, and then go back and look at the dollar index and see what it's doing. Look, it's definitely based on it, but it doesn't always have to do what it's told in terms of it can be a problem child if you do too much correlation with it. I think if they're agreeing with it, it's great, but you need to understand, are they actually agreeing with it over the reasonable sort of time frame that you're looking at? So say, for instance, if we look at the last whole screen and they're working correlation, I'll say, okay, I'm going to pay attention. But if you look at the whole screen's worth, so I'm not saying not scrolling back past what you can actually see on one screen, and they're not really playing the game, I'm of the opinion you just got to turn it off. So you turn off oil or turn off the dollar index and treat the CAD in isolation. To me, it's at a roll reversal zone. It's do or die time for it. Very similar to what the dollar index is like, really. So it's certainly playing the game in that regard. It's at a roll reversal zone. There's no question about that. You can do the arrows here. If it fails at this point here, I think the pullback can be rather dramatic. But if it holds here, I think I do like it back to 127. I think it's an easy 100 pips, actually. So this is the level. I haven't lost faith in it yet. Frank asked, do I trade it? Yes, absolutely, Frank. Still one of my favorites. We probably trade it too much. But yeah, it's at the do or die zone now. It would want to be holding here. I wouldn't want to be waking up and seeing it at 124 in the morning. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I think anything under this 125.80, I reckon, Ty. Close under 125.80, you get a 78, 76, boom. There we go.
Yeah, bang. Straight back down. Yeah, and that's 100 pips gone in an instant. So it's right in the middle of that. If you sort of break those channels down, you can see it's playing 100 pips either way. I think the 127 is likely if we get a probably smaller time frame change of trend at this level. We get that, and it's happy days. That's what I'm looking for. A very small change of trend on probably a 1 hour, and off we go up to 127. I like it.
Yeah, I like both directions as per usual in currency. That's the great thing. You don't really care too much. You just basically trade the movements when it happens. I specifically do actually also like the downside if it closes underneath his indecisions, because it's clearly thinking this is a key zone. If you've got like a rejection, a long leg doji, and then you get a closure below, the power of that move can be big. Coming into OPEC, that's going to be another thing that pushes it around. So, yeah, absolutely. New Zealand US dollar has been requested here, Ty, from Yes. So we'll do that one. And yes, it's at resistance. I've got these ones still drawn up. We had that closure below. Didn't quite go full distance. It actually just went to the resistance here. So we were why do I have this? Must have gone averages. Let's have a look at the line close. Yeah, averages. So, yeah, with this type of thing, whenever you're thinking about being in a trade, there's a few things that we like to do. Number one, we like to box up an area. So if you think this is the average middle, then what we would do is we would always come in, we would draw a box, and we draw it from the top. So the top of the wick to here, and that would become our targeting zone. Now, it actually is sneaky. That got straight, didn't even quite touch 68 flat. It was a good short. I think in this case, it could be one of those ones where you could have scaled maybe a third out, but I really feel like you've got to let these things ride. And you'd never lose on this trade. Obviously, you'd just be stopped out, break even at worst. But I do feel like you've got to let them ride in, Ty. And although it didn't quite hit it, some people might have taken early. You can't take too early, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you're not getting over your 1-to-1 risk-reward ratios. So it's a good trade short, just like it'll be a great trade long if it gets through here. That's the thing you're looking. And again,
100%.
it's one of those ones, long leg doji, too aggressive up. You're looking for a short here, but you're box structuring that and looking for the lightning bolt change. That's what you're doing.
Yep. Love it. Now, Tom, I've had a million emails about what I said at Q&A last week, and people don't seem to believe me, so maybe you can clarify it for them.
Sure.
Because they think it's too good to be true. But I promised them that it's not too good to be true. So I explained to them about buying or selling put options, I should say, at a level that you want to pick something up. Very, very important that you want to pick it up, of course.
Yeah.
I equated it to effectively placing a pending order to buy something, and if it doesn't get hit, it means that you're effectively getting paid for a pending order that doesn't get hit if it doesn't come down and touch you.
True.
Can you please, seeing as though you're the poster boy for anything YouTube, can you please explain to them that I'm right and it's not too good to be true, and it is effectively being paid for a pending order by selling a put?
Well, it is exactly that. But the thing is, once it goes through that pending order, you don't get the chance of stopping out. So what I mean by that is, yes, you always have the flexibility of course, removing that position. But once something gets fearful and it starts coming down, you better expect that sold put to become worth a lot of money. So you better be prepared to take the stock at that price. What we always find with options, Ty, is always this thing. And it is the fact that people have like this, they can see the future because they see what happens to the option.
Yeah.
So if something goes bad, they tend to just lose their minds. And I think that's a big thing about it. You've got to be prepared to cash own it. If you don't do it.
Yep. And it's 100% correct. And like I explained to them, sometimes I wonder if I'm sounding too simple and maybe they think I'm taking the piss. I'm not. I can tell you, it's the same thing as placing a pending order. If you will not place a pending order at a place that you don't actually want to buy the position, right? Obviously. Is that true or not? Or am I just stupid? You'll never place a pending order. You'll never place a pending order somewhere where you don't actually want to pick the stock up. Obviously. Because if you do, otherwise, why would you place a pending order? You're putting a pending order in lower than the price to pick it up. So you have to treat a sold put the same way. You would never place a sold put somewhere where you actually didn't want to own that stock. It's really, really important. You don't just put it randomly somewhere where you don't actually want to get hit. You generally put it somewhere where you want to pick it up, just like you put a pending order on. The only difference is, if it doesn't get hit, you get paid for it. Bonus.
That's right. Yeah, well, look, we do love options. Well, it is. Look, I mean, it is literally the easiest strategy out there, but it's also the one that actually usually undoes almost every person's account. Because they're like, whoa. You're telling me I get paid? Come on, man. This could never happen. Apple could never be under $120 by October.
I think people...
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but when you least expect it, they'll smoke you.
Yeah. When you explain it that way, that you're actually getting paid for a pending order that may not get hit, that's where it throws people. It almost sounds too good to be true, but we make you this solemn promise that it's not. It's true. You receive income for placing the trade, and if it doesn't get there and you don't get in, you still keep the money. Absolutely. And you'll learn about this in the options course very, very soon. Don't worry.
Here's the daily here, Ty. We've got the daily 50 exponential. We've got a question here about pound odd. Oh, it's so marginal a closure here. So, I know what you might be looking for, and you're looking for further shorting. Yes, I do think that could happen. I would probably be patient here and look for that and take the pullback down. That's the way I would do the pound odd. So yeah, pound odd, that's the way. Get the closure underneath. Get it underneath that 50 and then see it pull back and then take the short. I wouldn't just randomly short that. If I was in it short, I'd already be profited. So yeah, that's Dunsky on that one. All right, let's move over to some other stocks here, Ty. We'll go over to the indices. We'll talk about these just briefly here. We've got US 500 really pushing the upper boundaries here. We've got like a 45.50 for resistance for the session today. Look, we kind of feel like we stick with this. it's good, it's good gains recently. Obviously, we're looking at price action always. We just believe that's probably more of a day trading, scalping kind of market for indices at this stage. Just because we do usually get an increased level of volatility in the back half of the year, whether it be August, September, October, it doesn't really matter. Long-term investments, should you be scared? No, of course. Why the hell would you be scared? You should never be scared of that. Markets are built to go up over time. But trading-wise, key levels here, we've got 45.50 for the community today will be a key resistance. I think Ty would agree with that. 45.20 is a key support in the intraday. And then, of course, next key support is 4,500 flat. I think it's as simple as that, Ty. 45. I'll be writing a report for the private community soon on this.
Yeah. The next 3 to 4 weeks is going to be scalping day trading central. And I think if you focus your trading around that on these key indices, I think you're going to have an absolute ball. Because I think you're going to get good opportunities both sides. You're going to see volatility. What I don't expect to happen is it just a meander on up without volatility in the next 3 to 4 weeks. We know that. We know we're in a weak month. So keep your trade short. It's exciting. Day trading, scalping, you're going to have a great time because you're going to get good moves, both sides. But don't be just one eye going one way or the other. Use the technicals. The technicals stand up in these sorts of markets. Absolute scalp. 45,
scalp day trade.
Lovely zone.
4,500, 45.20, 45.50, all those levels are pretty good. US 100, we know where those are as well. I was actually looking at a 5-minute chart here, Ty, and I don't like 5-minute fake market futures, but I guess you could make a case for this being a relative strength coming into the market here. 15,618 breaks through and looks strong. I don't know if I'd trade that tight in fake market futures, but you've got kind of like a 15,770 now, 570, and then you've got, I think it's more of a, I guess you'd have to say it's 15,523 now or 20. And then underneath that, the real level's 15.4. Like if you look at the 4-hour swing, that's where the real levels are. 15.2, 15.4. They're the good king pullback zones that you're looking for those kind of deeper swing-based trades. Always, when it gets down here, wait for that base to form before going back up, just in case it is flash crashing or something weird's happening. But yeah, there's some good zones, indices, in, out, that kind of thing does make some sense, or at least have tighter stop loss so you're very well aware of where you want to be going there with it. All right, we keep moving on here. We've got a few other things. We've got the Shanghai Composite coming good, starting to move back up through the sessions. Look at this. Daily starting to really get back up there after its doldrums. And when we go through some of the stocks here, just Baidu, obviously not, they're very risky, but they're starting to base form. So we'll keep watching these ones. You can see that base forming through the 160. This is when Tyron and I start to look at it from, is there deep value here? Is there something like, I think these hold a lot of geopolitical risks. So I think there's really more trades, maybe even options is the way to trade something like this. Hey, Ty, when you've got so much risk to literally losing a lot just in case something goes wrong. But this is when it starts to form this base. So that's some interesting stuff going on there. We'll hand it over to some questions as well. Hoof-hearted says, trading puts is simple. Trade, I do it with no intention of ever owning the stock, just trade the options price. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. But again, you don't want to do it necessarily on, let's say you do it on a stock that is very risky. Let's say you do it on AMC. Do you really want to sell a naked put on AMC? Probably not. Now, could you sell a spread on AMC? Absolutely, because you can limit your risk. I think that the biggest issue here, Hilf, is just one day you get stuck and sometimes that stock doesn't come back and it blows your account out. So you got to be really careful.
Never on AMC.
This is never AMC. Never AMC. You know what I mean, though, yeah? What about some penny stock or something? It can happen.
Yeah, exactly right. No, you got to be very, very careful there. While you're looking at the next one, Thomas, I'm just going to bring up, because I know I've had a few questions in the private room while we've been doing this webinar. It's leaked out. The big secret is actually leaked out about the conference being moved. So I'm going to give you just a very, very quick touch on that, because what happened is we've been effectively locked out. yeah, we've been locked out of Queensland, and we're not going to get in. The conference was a sellout, but the majority of the people that were going were from Sydney and Melbourne, unfortunately. So it means we can't get into the States. So unless Dave and Amanda are going to run the conference and no one else is going to be there, we can't run it in October. But what we have done, we wanted to contact everybody who has obviously booked first, and that's already been done. Amazingly, literally every single person has actually stayed on for the March. We've changed the dates to March now. So everybody is actually stayed on, which is awesome. But what March has given us the ability to do is actually have a bigger presence, because now that the COVID restrictions will be lifted by then, it means that everybody from Australia can go, and it means that we can get more people in the room, which is absolutely awesome. So stay tuned for an email to give the new dates. Everybody will be able to come now. It's a long weekend. That means Kilted, you can come as well. I know you're there somewhere. You can come because it's a Saturday and a Sunday. We're going to be able to get a lot more people there, which is awesome. And all the dates will be up by the week, and the new form will be out. So it's going to be awesome. We're going to be able to get even more people there, and those dates are fixed. So we've got no problem with those at all, because we know that there's going to be no travel restrictions at that time. Thomas assures us that we will not be able to have any travel restrictions in March. Isn't that right, Thomas?
Yeah, I would actually think that's incredibly likely. Absolutely.
And I can't wait. And just for interest sake, it gives everybody a chance to get their bikini and board short bodies ready. It gives us a few more months, Thomas, so we can really get in shape. You can get that bit of a tan happening, because you're looking a little bit white there. We need you. Yeah, we'll be back.
How can you not be white? It's not like I'm allowed outside or anything. I need to go fishing, man.
I'll be a little bit darker, and I can finally work on these muscles, and then we'll really get some muscles. We can wear muscles up there, right, Thomas?
Sure. Sounds good, guys. Look, I think it's going to be a great session, and realistically, the thing with setting it back to next year is that I think there's like 98% chance it's absolutely gonna rock.
Huge chance.
I can't put 100 on it, because you never know. It would need a strain of a strain of a strain to stop it now.
There is there is absolutely no chance. There is no chance that we will not be in there in March. And we're actually opening, because there's going to be more people, we're opening up more events. So there's going to be, not only is there going to be fishing guys, but there's also going to be diving. People have requested diving things as well. So we're going to have diving and fishing and golf and rainforest walks and hanging by the beach with Tom and Ty, or by the pool, whichever it is at Cairns.
And we'll go. We'll talk about.
I will not be kissing my guns, Kevin. No, get it out.
Graham Newland says bullish on the new date.
I'm not sure who asked about the wicks to bodies on support or resistance. I think it might have been Perry. On the horizontal support, I generally like to go to the bodies, because the wicks don't really tell the story. But I think what Thomas said earlier too, drawing a bit of a zone, a rectangle zone, not being too fixated on the touch itself, but more actually on the zone, is probably more important for support and resistance.
Advanced technique.
You don't want to get, yeah, absolutely. You don't want to be getting too fixated on an absolute price on a body or a wick, especially on the bigger time frames. On the smaller time frames, when you're getting a little bit funky, like with a 15-minute or a 1 hour, when it's a very small support and resistance zone, probably aim for the body rather than the wick in those instances. But on the bigger time frames, say like this one here, drawing a rectangle like that, that's your shot. You do that, and that might
look wide. But what you're doing here is you're looking for those changes, as Ty said.
You're giving the chance for a change of trend in that time on a smaller time frame, and that is far more valuable than a particular level. So yeah, that's how I think it might have been Perry. Hopefully that answered your question for you, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Midas cannot stop with this BBIG thing, so we'll have a look here. BBIG. Unfortunately, I know what it is. I know it's a meme. It's just a shorty, squeezy kind of squeezy McEasy. Look, it filled the actual gap. I like to think gaps go between the wicks personally. So it actually went a little bit underneath that. Came back to the 6. Not a bad pickup off that. I mean, look, these are obviously not without their own risk. Target was 10. I think we actually had this target around 960.10. Look, I'm not sure if it gets past this point. If it does, 15, 20, that tends to be where they are. Stops just before those rounds. You might want to be careful. But yeah, looks cool. I mean, not for me. I actually don't mind the AMC. I thought that was a really good trade. Can't say I didn't think it didn't do a little bit of action, but yeah, this is the one I felt like this week. I know it's less percentage, but overall very solid. 16% here off these 40-50 area. Very, very solid close on the Friday. Very solid movement here. And if it gets past these wicks, of course, 52 still open. They are what they are. I mean, there is risk. You play it with a lot of the time options. There's incredible costs there, as we're all aware, because of the massive implied volatility. But there's been some good trades, and GME is another one that could be really smashing through as well over the next couple of sessions. Should be good. I will remind everyone, though, I don't actually know what happened to this yesterday, that stocks like this one, they're often pumpy dumpy. So there's another example of a pump, and then so far a dump. Does it dump back to 20? We'll find out. Let's have a look at Hood. Showing everybody pumpy dumpies. Pumpy dumpy. Some poor person has this at $85, Ty. You imagine having this piece of crap at $85? Ooh. I think he's unfortunately left. think you might have lost the internet, guys, but that's all right. One up says AMC to the moon. Yeah, the AMC is looking not bad. I don't talk about it much, but when I do talk about it, I mean that it means good, guys. I like it. So absolutely. All right. Well, we've done that one. We've done pretty much most of the stocks that we're doing this week. We're going to quickly move over here to crypto. Crypto really moving through. Ethereum traders rejoice. That was a nice breakout earlier today. Good pullback. It's a good trade as long as BTC holds up. You can see it's really finding its second gas here. I'll add Ty back into the stream. There we go. And yeah, long leg doji, decision made, but great trading off the 33.70. BTC, it's really marginal, I guess. Where is the best? I mean, we know the 20 moving average is holding it so far. That's a bad candle. No real follow through yet on it. Probably wait to see on BTC. Bring it down to the smaller time frames. If you're looking at trading it, you would think it's in lightning bolt form right now. Trough, peak, high peak. But I would like to see it past that resistance. Basically put base in, and then start moving really strong after this nice consolidation period. So yeah, that's something that I'm looking at, but I actually preferred the Ethereum. That was a much better trade. We'll move over to Tesla quickly. Just want to discuss this. This is time for Tesla. Tyrone, and now you got your back. What do you think of that? Is this time or not time? This stock.
Time is now.
It has to go now.
It has to go now.
Otherwise,
it has to go now, or you can just forget about it.
Yeah. Long leg doji, decision made, should blow hard to 780. I mean, this thing's 775, 780. Surely it has a crack. Look, I will be doing a full report. If you guys aren't aware, we're now doing in chart of the day. I'll be doing this as long as you guys like it. Basically a write-up. And in this write-up, I'll just quickly show you here. Got all our key levels. I'll add a few new ones in there as well. Just give a quick synopsis on what we're looking at in the market, currently what we're feeling. And then, of course, if I've got something interesting to show you guys, I'll put it in there as well. I think that's maybe something you guys like. So that'll be available to members in the private community. And I'll chuck up some key levels there. Thanks so much, guys. Tyron, do you have anything else to say?
No, only that the Q&A is going to be postponed from tomorrow because we've got internet downtime for about 5 hours tomorrow afternoon in Ocean Grove. So we will be doing the Q&A on Friday this week. I'll put the times out tomorrow in the room. So yeah, the Q&A will be on Friday. Okay, so look out for that then. But aside from that, sorry about the microphone. Look, we're getting the new computer's nearly ready to go. It'll be ready by next week, definitely. I'm not sure what happened with this microphone tonight, but we'll sort that problem out as well. But thank you very, very much for joining us, of course. And look out for Thomas's stream in about 40 minutes, which I think he'll touch on anything that we missed tonight in the recommendations of stuff to look for. Thank you very much, guys.
Got two more questions coming in here. I'll just answer. Kevin, yes, BTC under 46 is the key. Underneath that, 44 is open, absolutely. So, anything can happen through the session. As we said, we're in the middle of nowhere land. And then the last question I've got here coming in, which was from, where is it? This is a good question about PayPal. Craig says, thoughts on PayPal exploring stock trading? They should do it. stock trading platform. Good or bad for Hood and PayPal? Good for PayPal. I don't care about Hood. I really don't. But that's just, it's bad for Hood. Everything's bad for Hood, except like the only thing that's good for Hood was everything that happened last year. It was an amazing growth opportunity for them. But I feel like PayPal moving into it makes sense. This whole idea of having a digital wallet in the future that does everything tied, digital app, that's the way of the future, I feel.
Yeah, no, it's going that way, isn't it? And it's, you know, it's a good idea as long as they can get the security right. So let's see.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
well,
guys.
they're the ones that hold the stock anyway in custody. In America, that's how it is. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Catch you next week. Bye for now.
Thanks, everyone. See you later. Good night.
Bye.